Okay, so today I want to share with you about the three heavens in a way that you probably have never heard it before. It is a biblical, foundational, biblical perspective on the three heavens. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take you in all the next videos. I think there's a few things that I want to talk to you about that are not pertaining specifically to this, but by and large, we're going on a journey now. My book, The Three Heavens as They Truly Are, I think there's a link below in the thing if you want to get to it, or if you can't afford it, if you would just email me, Teri, T-E-R-I, loves, L-O-V-E-S, Jesus, J-E-S-U-S, at iCloud.com. If you can't afford it, just send me a little note, email it to me and your address, and I will gladly send you one for free. Anyway, so we're going to go on this journey through the Bible to reveal the truth about the three heavens as you have never heard them before, most probably. Okay, so what we've been taught is, by and large, we have been taught that the three heavens is, the first heaven is the earth and its atmosphere. The second heaven is where the powers and the principalities of darkness are, the war in the heavenlies. And the third heaven is the abode of God. Okay, that's what we've been taught. But I'm going to share with you a different perspective biblically. So, in Deuteronomy, Moses said, "Behold, the heavens and the heaven of heavens is the Lord thy God, and the earth and all that is in it." In Genesis 1:1, it says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." In Genesis 2:1, it says the heavens and the earth were finished and all the host of them. And then in Genesis 2:4, it says, "These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the heavens and the earth." So very specifically, from the beginning, Father let us know that the earth and the earth's atmosphere is called the earth. It is the earth and all that is in the earth. And then the heavens are called the heavens. So never in the Bible do we call the earth a heaven or its atmosphere. The heavens start at the air, because we know Satan is known as the power and principality of the air. So that is what is known as the first heaven. Above that is what Moses says is from Deuteronomy 10:14, "Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's thy God." And he said the earth and all that is in it belongs to the Lord. So the heaven and the heaven of heavens is only two. The heaven is the second heaven, and the heaven of heavens is the third heaven, known as the abode of God or the city of God. Okay, so we have the earth and its atmosphere. That's the earth. Then there is the heaven and the heaven of heavens. So that's just two. That is the second heaven and the abode of God, making the temple. The holy place and the Holy of Holies makes up two compartments. That is the temple of God. The only thing that is missing, that Moses does not refer to, Moses himself in Deuteronomy 10:14, is the first heaven. because the first heaven belongs to the devil. Basically, it doesn't necessarily belong to him. He just is in it. It is his place where he is literally chained in chains of darkness, meaning that there is a limitation to where he can go. He cannot go up above the first heaven. So all his dealings with God are from the first heaven. And anyway, we'll get to that. His dealings are from the first heaven. He is known as the power, the prince, and the power of the air. He said in, I think it's Isaiah 14, that he wants his throne above the stars of God. And his reach is to the congregation on the sides of the north in heaven. And I know, probably saying, well, what is that? Well, I'm going to take you on a journey, and we're going to go through all this together. And it's from the book. If you can get the book, read the book, because you could have all the scriptures right there. If not, if you're not a reader, it's okay. I'm going to do all these videos, and we're going to go through all of it. A 4-year journey. It's not going to take us 4 years, but for me, it was a 4-year journey in heaven of the first experience. I don't know if you saw my last video about my experience of passing through the heavens. Well, that's how it started for me. It was many years ago, over 20 years ago. I was worshiping, and I left. My spirit came out of my body. I did never try that stuff. Never had any interest in it. I'm very grounded. I'm very, very careful about stuff like that. I do not like spiritism. I don't like that stuff, even though I might look like a girl who does. I really don't. I'm very, very like, I have to have truth. It's got to be grounded. It's got to be in the Word. It's got to be a through line. Got to be in context. But it happened. It happened. And I'm not going to deny that it happened. So I'm not going to deny it. And yet I don't seek to make those things happen. That's where I stand. Anyway, so out of that experience, then, I passed through the 3 heavens as they were shown to me, described to me, and Father very specifically said to me, as there are 3 heavens, so there are 3 courts in my tabernacle on earth. And then boom, I was right back in my body. So based on that, and then the last 4 years of having the heavens open up to me and in vision and traveling through and going through and learning about the heavens, what's in them, why, all of that, we're going to go through that together. I'm going to share all of that with you. Okay, so now let's go forward. In Hebrews 8:1, it says, now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is sat on the right hand of the majesty in the heavens, the 2 heavens, the 2 upper heavens, the holy place and the holy of holies, a minister of the sanctuary again being the holy place and the holy of holies, and of the true tabernacle, which then consists of the 3 compartments, the first heaven, the second heaven, and the third heaven, the true tabernacle, in the totality of the tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. So Father is showing us in this Hebrews 1 that the Jesus is a minister of the heavenly sanctuary, the true tabernacle of the 3 heavens, which the Lord pitched. So the tabernacle in heaven, he is at the right hand of the throne of majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary, and the true tabernacle which the Lord pitched, and not man. Okay. In Hebrews 8:5, it says, who serve the tabernacle on earth when Moses was in the wilderness, and he went up to Mount Sinai, and he stayed there 40 days and 40 nights on the top of Mount Sinai. Now remember, Aaron and his sons and 70 of the elders went up with Moses, and they went a portion of the way up that mountain, and they ate with God there. They sat on a sapphire place. They ate with God there. And then they came down, and immediately they gave in to the cries and the people telling them, something's happened to Moses. Build us a god. So Aaron collects all their jewelry, all the gold that God was telling Moses up right at that moment probably. Listen, take all the gold that you guys got from Egypt, and I need you to build this tabernacle. Well, they're down there having spent time with God and seeing God, and they come right down and they build a calf, a golden calf. Anyway, Moses is still on Mount Sinai. He goes up further, the Bible says, from where Aaron and his sons and the 70 were. He goes up further, and he waits. And when he goes up further, the Father opens the heavens to him and tells him, Moses, make the tabernacle according to the pattern that I've shown you of the heavens on the mount. Okay, so here we are in Hebrews 8:5. So this tabernacle that now Moses made according to the pattern the Father showed him on Mount Sinai, it says, who serve, this tabernacle serves unto an example and a shadow of heavenly things. Right? So the tabernacle that Moses made on the earth served as an example and a shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that you make all things according to the pattern that I have shown you on the mount. Right? So we see now from this point that the earth is the earth, and the atmosphere is the earth. Now we see that God said that the heavens are a tabernacle that the Lord pitched and not man. And now Father has showed Moses, listen, I need you to make me a tabernacle with all that gold that they're making right now out of a golden calf out of. I need you to make me a tabernacle according to the pattern that will be an example and a shadow of heavenly things, according to the pattern that I show you up here. Okay, so in Hebrews 9:23-24, it says, this is all scripturally based, it says, it was therefore necessary that the patterns of the things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. See? But the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. For Christ is not entered into holy places made with hands, which are figures of the true. Right? So the experience I had when my spirit passed through the heavens, through the three heavens, and Father said to me, the first heaven is filled with perversity, everything is twisted and distorted. And I saw blackness that went on forevermore. Long ways, but up and down, it had an end. Then my spirit moved up from there into the second heaven, and it was the color yellow. It was candlelit, And I said, it's so peaceful here. And there's truth. Because I am above, and I look down above that perversity. The second heaven, the candlestick. And Father said, everybody comes here, but nobody stays here. That's why when people die and say they go to the light, or they go to, it's so peaceful, they're right. But it's where every knee bows and every tongue confesses that Jesus Christ is Lord. And you don't stay there. You either have received the Lord and you enter in past there into the third heaven or into the paradise of it, or you descend. If you've never received the Lord, those people that say, that have near-death experiences, that say they go to the light and they have never known the Lord, they have never received him, if they have rejected him, they themselves know that they're unworthy. They don't even want to stay there. They know they're unworthy. They know that their sin is not washed away. They know their sin is not covered over. They know that they are not hidden in Christ. Anyway. And then is the third heaven. And from there I went into the third heaven and sat on the sea of glass in the throne room of Father. And Father said, as there are three heavens, so there are three courts in my tabernacle on earth, according to the pattern that I showed Moses on the mount, that they would be an example and a shadow of heavenly things, that which are figures of the true tabernacle in heaven, right? Okay. But unto heaven itself, it says, for Christ has not entered into holy places made with hands, which are figures of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. Right? Okay. In Acts 7:44, it says, our fathers had a tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moses, that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen. Right? It's very clear. It is very clear in the scriptures that the heavens are a tabernacle. A tabernacle is three heavens: outer court, holy place, and holy of holies. Three heavens, a tabernacle. The first heaven is where the powers and principalities, he is the power and principality of the air. That is where the war in the heavenlies are. Father said, the first heaven is filled with perversity. Everything is twisted and distorted. He twists and he distorts everything of the heavens. He twists the truth, he distorts the truth, and he perverts it. And he mostly twists and distorts and perverts and steals it and uses it for his glory, to glorify himself as if somehow it belongs to him. And it doesn't. It doesn't. He is chained in the first heaven, chained in limitations that he cannot go any higher. He is, okay, we're going to get to that because I'm going to do a whole video on the tabernacles on earth. So I'm going to get more into that on the next video. Anyway, okay, so also it says here in Hebrews, the first one, it says, now the things which we have spoken of, this is a sum, that we have a high priest who is set at the right hand of the throne of majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. Okay, so in Hebrews 8:2, it says Jesus is a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle. which the Lord pitched, and not man. So Jesus is in the second heaven. Jesus is the showbread. He is the bread of life. He is the candlestick. He is the light of the world. He is the minister of the sanctuary, of the temple of God, of the holy place and the Holy of Holies. So when we, in our understanding and in our belief system, in the doctrine that we partake of, the fruit and the bread of darkness that we partake of, and we put Satan in the second heaven, we put that snake back in the garden, into the holy place, where he becomes priest. And a priest is one who decrees. He gives his decrees. He ministers and he decrees over, as a covering over the people. Do you remember in Ezekiel, I think it's Ezekiel 28, it says that Satan was once in the garden covered with every gemstone. Every gemstone was his covering, and he was a covering in the garden. He was a covering, and he got kicked out of the garden. He got kicked out of the second heaven. The tabernacle representing the garden on earth, he was kicked out. And man was kicked out too. And it is only through partaking of Jesus Christ, the bread of life, and the candle of the light of the world, and pressing through in the outer court, getting on, making a decision to lay your life down as a living sacrifice, that you get on that brazen altar and you begin to move and press in past the outer court, past the powers and principalities of darkness, the twisting and the perversion and the distortions of the belief system of darkness and his lies, his doctrine of lies, his lies to try to keep us down, so we are never rise up into the fullness, into the heavens, on earth as it is in heaven, into the fullness of the stature of Christ, the fullness as a son of God on earth as it is in heaven. He wants to keep us limited in darkness, in his doctrine, his lying, deceiving, empty doctrine, making us, teaching us that somehow that slithering snake found some little hole to slither back into the garden. And then he puts on the rainbow. He takes the rainbow as if he still has the gemstones on him. No, I'm sorry. He fell like lightning, so he was singed. It's all singed. He's just a worm that's singed in the first heaven. Making war against the saints. Anyway, all right. Okay, so I know I get very passionate about this because I've been living with this for like over 20 years, and listening to this other lies, and having to try to hear Satan claim that he has the garden. I'm so sorry. No, he doesn't. He is in the first heaven. He is in the outer court. That is why it is so important for us as Christians to press past the outer court and press into the holy place. And it's not just like that. It's not just, oh yeah, Jesus died, so we got it. No, you must press into it. He made a way. And the road is hard and difficult at times. But he made the way for us. That means we are able. He made the way, and we must press into it. And so that's why you see Christianity, a lot of Christianity is confused, to say the least. And it doesn't look any different than the world. And why we are lacking power. And I speak for myself also. I'm not speaking to anybody that I don't speak to myself first, because we should be walking in great power. Anyway, okay. In Revelation 11:1-2, it says, "And there was given to me a reed like a rod, and an angel stood, saying, Arise, and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship within it. But the court which is without the temple meaning the holy place and the Holy of Holies, not the tabernacle." He's specifically saying the temple, measure the temple, and those that worship within the temple. And the court, the outer court that is without, measure it not, for it is given over to the Gentiles. Gentiles being the unbelievers, the ones that reject God, or that they live in unbelief. They never give themselves over to him. They never trust him like Caleb and Joshua. And the outer court is given to the Gentiles. The first heaven, the outer court, the powers and principalities of war in the heavenlies, the first heaven, don't measure it. It is given over to the Gentiles to be destroyed. Okay, watch. In Revelation 21:1, it says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." So not all the heavens are done away with. It's only the first heaven and the earth that passes away. It's destroyed. It's not annihilated. I don't believe it's annihilated where it doesn't exist anymore. That's not biblically correct. Passed away means it just dies. Everything in it dies. It gets destroyed. The enemy destroys it. He, with his influence for the first heaven, is the spirit of death and destruction, destroys the earth, brings death and destruction, which is what we're basically have entered into now. The spirit of death and destruction, the end times. And so it is only the first heaven and the first earth that get destroyed, but not annihilated. Just, it's like being born again. It's like if a person dies, they're destroyed. They die. They're done away with. They die. It's in that context. But Jesus, as the Son of God, as the temple of God, comes down from heaven to Mount Zion, and he makes all things new. He makes a new earth. He makes all things new. He brings restoration and life. The very essence of his being in his return makes all things new. So all of a sudden, things start growing out of death. New life comes out, trees and flowers, and the Garden of Eden is restored. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Right? When all things are made new. But the first heaven and the first earth pass away. They die. Everything in it dies. Except for those that are caught up. Anyway, those that are left, it all dies. It all gets destroyed. And all things are made new by him. Anyway, I just wanted to start that foundation with you guys about the three heavens. So going forward, we know that we have been taught that the three heavens is the earth, the second heaven, the powers and principalities, the war in the heavenlies, as in Ephesians, and the third heaven is the temple of God. I'm asking you to lay aside that doctrine for a second, and just come with me as I reveal through the Bible, through scriptures, exactly how the heavens are. The earth is the earth. The first heaven is where the powers and principalities of darkness are. The second heaven is the paradise, the garden of God. And the third heaven is the abode of God, is the city of God. Okay. All right. So stay with me for the next video I'm going to do is about the tabernacling. But God gave us not only scriptures, but he gave us examples. And we did talk about the tabernacle on earth that Moses, the Father showed Moses to make as a type and a shadow, an example and a shadow of the heavens. But let's see what other tabernacles there are on earth that reveal the same. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, that's it for today. Okay, let me know what you think. Please share in the comments with me. I really look for them. And I've gotten some new subscribers, and I'm really grateful for that. Please share these videos with your friends. Listen. In the last days, there's so much that the enemy is going to throw at us to deceive us, that the Bible says that if possible, even the elect will be deceived. And it's not going to be that difficult. We have been fed a lot of fodder, a lot of twisting, a lot of distortions, and a lot of perversions. Not all, but enough to keep us limited. Enough to keep us where we've only gone so far. Enough to keep us where we just are satisfied in the outer court. And the devil would love to have it so, because many in the outer court may not make it. I'm not saying necessarily to heaven, but we're to be overcomers. We're to overcome, to those who overcome. We need to run this race, and we need to overcome, and we need to be more than conquerors. We need to be the ones in the last days that are risen up sons of God, that move in the power of God. So when the enemy is killing, we're going right up beside him, bringing resurrected life, bringing back to life. We're to be as examples of Christ. But we've got to press in. We've got to believe the Lord and believe the scriptures. And he's revealing. He is making hidden places known. The things that have been hidden, or he is opening the eyes of our understanding into his word. And I'm telling you, I'm going to share in a video. My friend Karen called me this morning, so I'm going to do it today, right after this one. Exactly about why Jesus is coming back for his elect. Why? What is it that moves God for Jesus to come back and take up his elect and gather them together and remove them from the earth? Anyway, that's another video I'm doing shortly. Anyway, that's it. Okay, God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.